Morning, guys. So what we're going to do today, we're going to have a look at captive rings. We're going to have a look at some of the tools that I use to do captive rings. Other people will have other things as well that they use to do captive rings, but this is just a quick video to show how I do it. So I'll change camera and we can have a look at what we're going to do. So what I've got on the lathe today is a piece of ash. It doesn't really matter about the dimensions because I'm just doing a quick demo today. Preferably, if you are doing captive rings, try and get a close grained wood. It works a hell of a lot better with close grained wood. Ash is quite open, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. So the tools I'm going to be using, I've already used my rough and gouge just to rough it down into a cylinder. I'm going to be using my diamond parting tool. I'm going to be using a homemade tool that I've got here, which I can actually cut in from both sides. A small spindle gouge. You don't have to use a small spindle gouge. You can use a standard spindle gouge. A beading tool. Again, you don't have to use a beading tool because the spindle gouge will do it. A small point, there we are. A small point tool that I'll use for doing the captive ring. And also, this is a captive ring tool made by Hamlet that you can do both sides of the captive ring with. So they're the tools I'm going to be using. So what I'll do first, I'm just going to use my parting tool just to make some space on here and identify where the captive ring is going to be. I'll take that down to there. And I'm just gauging this by eye. Give yourself some clearance on either side. So the first tool I'll use is the beading tool, and what you need to do is have the tool rest set so the beading tool goes in horizontally on center height, and I'm just going to form a bead on here. You just move it from side to side. Just to form a bead. Now again, with using open grained wood like ash, you can get a bit of tear out. I haven't actually got any there, so that's a good thing, but you can get a bit of tear out. And I'll use the bolt tool for doing the ring. The other thing to remember before I start doing that is just to give the outside of the ring a quick sand, or if you're doing this on the likes of a stem of a goblet, get the outside totally finished. And then using your captive ring tool, you just go in. Again, you've got this horizontal on center height, and you just bring it round until you start cutting the inside of the ring. And then you go from the other side, so you get it on there, go in, and you just bring it round. This is why you need the clearance on either side. That's just about loose there. I'm just going to take this down a little bit further, just so we can get that ring off when it's done. And then just go through again until you go all the way through, and there's the captive ring off. So that's how quick it is to get that done. And what I'll do, I'll just clean up this part here. Like that. I'm just going to get a piece of abrasive paper. Move my tool rest out of the way. Move that to one side. And what we're going to do is just glue on a piece of abrasive paper. Like that. Bring it round. Glue the other side. Pop some glue on there. And take a hold of your captive ring, start the lathe up, bring it onto the abrasive paper and just taking it, oh you can't really see that there. See if I can move my hand out of the way. That's better. And just bring the ring round like this, just to get the inside sanded. And then when you're finishing off the rest of the stem, if you're just doing one captive ring, when you finish off the rest of the stem, you can actually use duct tape or something, masking tape, something like this, just to tape up the captive ring to the bottom of the bowl or whatever, the goblet or whatever it is you're doing. Just put my small tool rest in here. So that was using the beading tool and the captive ring tool. So what I'll do this time, again, I'm going to go back to my parting tool. Just create a little bit of space there. Space on that side. Like that. I've just got my small spindle gouge. Like I say, you don't have to use a small spindle gouge. You can use your standard spindle gouge just to form a bit of a bead. And again, you get that sanded off. And finished if you're going to put a finish on. And what I'll use on this one is my homemade captive ring tool. So I'm just going to come in from one side. Like that. Oh, what I didn't do, sorry. I should have brought that up so the tool rest or the tool is at center height. And go in from the other side. That's that one done. And again, you do the same thing. Bring it across to the abrasive paper. Switch the lathe on and just take it around on the abrasive paper just to get the inside nicely sanded. Right, back to the parting tool again. I'll just clean up this bit here. Again, just creating a bit of space for the tool to go in there. Do your bead. And on this one, I'm going to use my point tool. And again, just go in from one side. And the other side. And there's your captive ring done there as well. You go through the same process of getting that sanded. Now what I will do, I'm just going to take this down a little bit more. Just get rid of that. Just want to get rid of this paper. I just want to take this down a little bit more. Just to show you another technique you can do. So if we take one of these captive rings, let's take this end one and just find where the end grain is. And what I'm going to do is just snap this if I can. There we go. That's that snapped. So I now have that captive ring snapped. And what you can do, move the tool rest out of the way, is actually slot that through the other one. I'm going to have to take that down just a little bit further. I haven't got enough space there. Where's the break? There it is. Slot that through like that, and then you just get a little bit of super glue, CA glue. Glue that back together, put some accelerator on there. There we go, that's stuck. That'll probably need a bit of hand sanding to get rid of the super glue marks, but what you've got there is an intertwined set of captive rings. So I'll just bring the camera back. So there we are, guys. 3 captive rings I've done there in not very much time. Just to show you the different processes that you can do. You can use a skew chisel. I've seen Steve Jones use a skew chisel to do captive rings. You can make your own tools up like I've done, or you can buy ones from the likes of Hamlet. I can't remember if Sorby do them as well. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you at the next one. Bye for now.